Hi, I'm Dave Epstein, and welcome to this edition of Growing Wisdom. We're back in my own yard, and I've been working hard today. As a matter of fact, I'm out here since 8 o'clock this morning. It's 3 in the afternoon, and here's what I've been doing. I've ripped out a lot of big plants. You ever get to the point where you look at your garden and you say, I just want to change it, and that's what happened this morning. I went ripping things out. I'll have Mike get some stuff that's in the garage in a little bit. I'll just show you all the stuff I've got in containers. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. But anyway, back to this video. So all that stuff that's in the garage came out, and it just looked nice and calmer, not as many plants. The impetus for this whole video was last night I went to a benefit. It was at the New England Wildflower Society. And one of the things I bid on, you know, I'm not a big spender, but I bid on these little guys. It's called a stomia, and it's a ground cover, and it's a steppable ground cover, a walkable ground cover, and it will get a little bit of a white flower during the summer. And in my mind, I was thinking, you know, I want to rip out all that stuff, and I'm going to use this to kind of create a little bit of a background down at the ground, a nice ground cover inside of this bed. So that's one of the things. And then I went out today and I bought some Palace Purple Heuchera. Now, I have Heuchera around the yard. We've got some of the yellow ones and some of the orange ones. And the Palace Purple is one of the, I'd almost call it one of the more original Heucheras. It's taller, it's bigger, it's got a great copper color to it. It's kind of like going back to the old things that we know. Some of the newer ones, they're wonderful, but they're not maybe as hardy or they don't grow as well. This guy really grows superbly in my own garden. So I bought a little tray of those, and I'm going to mix those in. One of the other things I got was this really neat hydrangea. I had never seen a hydrangea like this before, and it's called aspera, and you can see it's got this wonderful fuzzy leaf. It doesn't look anything like, let's go over to the other hydrangea. So this is the macrophylla hydrangea, and you can see that nice shiny leaf, and just look how different. It doesn't even look like it's the same plant. And you're beginning to see a little bud here. So it's a lace cap hydrangea. In other words, the flower's not one of those big mop head hydrangeas. So I'm gonna put that in here as well. This is a zone 6 plant, barely. So we're gonna hope that it does well. It's a little bit protected down here, and I've got some other plants which are marginal. So I think this will do okay. So one of the other things I'm adding into this bed is a bearded dianthus. Look at that flower. Now, you may think, wait a second, that looks like it's dying. Some people like it, some people don't. It's brand new. This is a newer variety, a new cultivar, and actually it was given to me by the gentleman that owns one of the places, one of the nurseries where I go to get plants for other folks. And he said, hey, try this out in your garden, see how it does. So you may not be able to find this that easily, but I really like the way it looks. It's just an interesting texture in the garden. And one of the other things I put in the garden earlier this year was this ABs, this fir. It's called silverlock. And silverlock is beautiful, and a couple of neat things about this. Of course, it's got this wonderful blue color. Look at the new growth and how when it opens up, it's that really neat blue. And eventually, this will what's called cone out. It will get some little pine cones, which will be purple. And the neat thing about this, now I don't see any on this particular specimen yet, but it will cone up very early. So the cones are a sign of maturity, but the silverlock variety does get its cones fairly early, which is a great bonus to it, and especially the purple color. Unfortunately, the chipmunks do love those cones, I know that. Now, during the day, I needed to move a few things around to kind of create the bed, aside from ripping some things out. Like, I had a Palace Purple here. This is an older one that was already in the garden. So I wanted to show you a little trick. Let me go over here and get something. So this is row cover, and we've talked about this in the vegetable garden to cover our vegetables in the fall. But a neat little trick you can do with the row cover is if you move a plant in the heat of the day. I moved the juniper and I moved the Heuchera, I moved the Palace Purple, is you can just put the row cover over it like this during the heat of the day for a few days. And what that does is it helps to stop the sun from really taking a lot of the moisture out, and it gives things that maybe will droop in the heat of the day a little better chance to survive. I'm really not that concerned about these. We've got some good rain coming. I had them covered all day. You can see now the sun's behind. We waited till it got a little bit cooler to do the video today. So this row cover is not only good for vegetables, for protecting them against frost, you can also grow, say, cucumbers under it. We talk about row cover a lot. It's one of my favorite sort of implements in the garden, but it's wonderful to cover plants, let them become more acclimated to their new homes, especially if you're moving things, say, after the middle of May into early June. This is about as late as I like to move things. The only reason why I did this is because we have a very cool week ahead this particular June. It's going to be cool and kind of cloudy, so I'm fairly confident that things that I've moved will be fine. So what I did was I kind of cleaned out the middle part of this bed, and we've left the edges. So I've left the rose. This is a flower carpet rose here. You can see that great peach color. Love that. That's going to look real nice with the Palace purple. I've also got this great Japanese maple, Koto no Ito, and the leaves on this are really cool, very cut, and really almost look shredded. So I like this. It now stands out. I had some huge Hydrangeas back here, and they were really just dwarfing the garden. I like big things in the back of the garden, but sometimes they get too big and then you don't see what's in the front, and that was the problem with this. So we've really stripped out the back. We're putting some lower things in. That's gonna let these specimen plants kind of pop to the foreground, so when people walk by this part of the garden, they'll get to enjoy some of the more choice plants that we've put in here. For Growing Wisdom, I'm Dave Epstein.